Hi, welcome everyone. Very good morning to you folks. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. I'm Rasha Khan. I'm your host for today's webinar, and it's lovely to have you folks here joined us before we start the session. So we have some time, and we can just do a quick round of introductions on the chat here. So I'm joining all the way from Bangalore, India. You can let us know by dropping us a hello with your name and let us know where are you tuning in from on the chat box here. It's always good to network, right? Before we start the session, also get to know folks who have joined us. So please keep the introductions coming in. We are also streaming live on our YouTube channel. So folks who have joined us live on our YouTube channel, you can drop us a hello and let us know where are you tuning in from on the YouTube live chat box as well. So welcome everyone. We'll be starting the session in next few minutes. Meanwhile, let's introduce ourselves on the chat here. Hi folks, am I audible to you? Thank you for your introductions. I see a lot of new folks who have joined us. We are just getting started with the session. Meanwhile, let me quickly take you through the few quick ground rules we have here for the session, which you will have to follow. So you have a good experience as well. So you need to put on your questions in the Q&A box. The session is being recorded in case you miss anything, or if you want to go through the recording of the session once again, you can expect a follow-up email from us with the recording link. And the webinar certificate is for folks who will basically stay till the end of the session, and it is for attending this webinar. The program certificate is a different thing, just to be clear. And to request a proof of attendance for this webinar, you will have to enter your full name in the post-webinar survey. Then only you can get the webinar certificate. So now this basically webinar is of 60 minutes of duration. So basically when this webinar ends in 60 minutes, you will get a pop-up by Zoom, which will request for your full name, which you would want to see your name in the webinar certificate. So we will need that data. Without that, we won't be able to provide the webinar certificate. So I'll just nudge this again throughout the session and also towards the end in case anyone has a confusion about that. So please don't worry. I'll be there and I'll help you out with that. And this program is powered by Simplilearn, world's #1 online bootcamp. We have been in the digital skills training space for almost a decade now, and we have transformed lives by empowering people via these digital skills like AI, machine learning, data science, which we're talking about today, business analytics, cybersecurity, cloud computing, DevOps, and many more categories to cover from. We have advanced over 5 lakh plus careers in over 150 plus countries, and we have 800 plus qualified trainers here. And also the agenda of today's session will just quickly go through it. I know a lot of you folks have just joined because I see the number increasing as we are moving towards this session. And just to let you know that we're just getting started, you're not late. And if you have missed anything, I'll just send a few reminders about the ground rules and other things on the chat. So please don't worry. Just pay attention to the messages on chat here. So the first agenda of today's session is about you. We'll be getting to know a little bit about you, how we can help you out in your data science career better, and also through this program, if you have any questions about the program as well. We'll be talking about the data science careers in 2024. We'll be covering the Caltech CTME program of data science here, and how exactly it prepares you, how it gets you job ready. And also for folks who share interest towards enrollment for this program, we'll be quickly taking the enrollment steps of the program. And also towards the end, we will have some time for Q&A to hear out your queries you might have about a career in data science or also about the Caltech program as well. So in case you have any questions, you can easily navigate the Q&A box just beside the chat box where we see your amazing introductions coming in. Please keep them coming. If you're new, we're just doing a quick round of introductions on the chat here, just to get to know each other because this is a global webinar and we see people joining from different parts of the world. And it's always good to know, right, who are the folks joining, always good to network. So before we start the session, I just have a quick poll. As I mentioned, we'll be getting to know a little bit more about you. So let's start with a quick poll here. I see that a lot of you have already joined and given instructions. So let me just launch this poll which says, how many years of experience do you currently have? Now, when I talk about experience, I'm talking about work experience here. And you can basically choose the most suitable option from you for the 4 options you see on the screen. So I'll just give 10-15 seconds for this poll here. So all of you have time for voting for it. Awesome. I see most of you have already responded for the poll here. So let me just read out those options for you for folks who have joined us live on our YouTube channel as well. So the first option here is currently studying. Second option, 0 to 3 years. Third option, 3 to 5 years. And the last one, more than 5 years. So 5 seconds more, folks, for voting and sharing with us how many years of experience do you currently have. Also, let me just tell you that this particular poll also helps our speaker, tailor his responses accordingly, knowing that, what kind of audience who has joined us, what kind of experience do they have. So please do let us know. And I see amazing introductions coming on the chat here. So once again, I know a lot of you have just joined right now. We are just starting the session. And I'm Rasha Khan. I'm your host for today's webinar. And I'm joining all the way from Bangalore, India. And it's lovely to see your introduction on the chat here. Folks joining from different countries here, South Africa, India. I see California here, Jamaica. And I see Nasir has joined us from Pakistan, Alex from US, Bunji from Lagos, Nigeria, and I see Augustine has joined us from Dublin, Ireland, and Judith has joined us from Tamil Nadu. So please keep the introductions coming in. And also I see most of you have already responded for this poll here. So let me just quickly end this poll. Last 5 seconds, folks, for a few of the folks who are still voting. How many years of experience do you currently have? Last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll and also share the results with you folks. Let's see what have you voted for. I see 38% of you have voted for currently studying, 32% of you have voted for more than 5 years, and 21% of you have voted for 0 to 3 years of experience, and 10% of you have voted for 3 to 5 years. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. As you can see, we have gotten a really diverse set of crowd here coming from different countries and also different set of experiences, and that makes the session equally interesting for the program review we have lined up for you today. So let's start with the introduction of our speaker, Armando Galeana. Armando would like to welcome you to this program preview session. And we have a lot of things to talk about data science in 2024 and also the program preview here of Caltech, the Caltech program here. But we would love to know a little bit about you before we start the session.
Hello, Raja. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Hey, thank you very much for the introduction. Welcome, everyone. Listen, I'm very, very happy to have you all here in these presentation about, what's coming up in AI, artificial intelligence. My name is Armando. I'll be your host, your co-host for today. So something about myself that I would like you to know, all of you to know, is that listen, most of the questions that I get are related to, can I make the transition from whatever I'm doing into data science? And I can tell it is possible. I mean, and the reason I'm telling you is because I made that transition. I had nothing to do with data science. I was more in the operational side, business development, but I was always drawn to data. And I was able to make the transition. I do consulting. I have solutions that perform artificial intelligence. I have the privilege of teaching artificial intelligence, and I was the head of artificial intelligence and data science in a hardware manufacturing company. So I can tell that it is possible. So I am very happy to have you here. If you have any questions, let me know. And back to you, Rajan.
Thank you so much, Armando, for your introduction. Sorry, my voice is repeating lately. So moving on to the first agenda of today's session, talking about careers in data science in 2024. Here, let's start talking about data science, how data science is driving the 2024's economy here, Armando.
Well, first and foremost, let's understand what it's data, right? So data point is a snapshot of an aspect of reality at a given point of time, meaning that when we look at data, we take snapshots of something that is happening, whether someone passing by, whether the duration of a phone call, whether the price of a specific currency. And now more than ever, and by the way, when we have a lot of those data points, we can start understanding patterns and make predictions and maybe influence outcomes. Today, we have the ability to collect a lot of that data, like really so much data that, I mean, you have no idea how much data is publicly available out there. Even organization companies are producing so and there's not enough talent to put together patterns or understanding on the behaviors are driving that data, and then of course trying to influence the output. And nowadays, not only we're producing more data more than ever in the history of humankind, in the upcoming years, the amount of data will be growing massively, like really, really, really massively. So data related roles have been on the rise. So just to let you know, we're expected to have around like 100 zettabytes in next year, which is almost a 20% growth from this year. And when we talk about zettabytes are, just to give an idea, if you have a zettabyte, I think 181 zettabytes will be the equivalent of even more, way more than if you record all speech, according to the University of San Diego, all speech produced by humans throughout the history of known humankind. You store them, you will still not have enough. You will still have to multiply that several times to have the equivalent of what we'll be producing in 1 year. So this is just a broad analogy just to let you know how much they were producing. So every data related role will be on the rise. And also organizations, whether governments, private organizations, NGOs, they are investing a lot in data related roles because they start acquiring data is getting cheaper, is getting faster, is getting more maintainable. So a lot more of those organizations really investing in data, and not only talking about the big ones like the Facebooks or Metas and LinkedIn's and Apple. I'm talking about like mid-sized organizations are starting to invest in data-driven roles because they want to make sure that they make decisions. Most importantly, to figure out ways in which they can start implementing data science, artificial intelligence. So that is something happening today. So I'm glad that you're here to learn a little bit more about it and how to seize that opportunity. Thank you, Raja.
Thank you so much, Armando, for talking about the how data is driving 24 economy here. Also, folks, let us know. I think one of our attendees is facing a problem in the screen. Is not visible to that person. Please do let us know if you have any issues with the screen or even the audio here as well. Please do let us know. Now that we have talked about how data is driving 2024's economy, let's start talking about the hottest skills which will be in demand in the data science space in 2024. As we can see, there are so many skills here, Armando, we can talk about, but maybe you can talk about something for folks, what they can start with if they're trying to basically get out there in the data science space as a career.
Absolutely, Raja. And this is one of the questions that we get very, very often. It's okay, what do I need to make the transition from what am I doing, whether I'm manufacturing engineering or executive assistant or salesperson? They ask me quite often, so what do I have to learn? And my advice is go backwards. Look at the roles that you're aspiring to get. Look at the roles that appeal to you, to figure out what is it that you want to do. And then over there, you will start looking and seeing that there's a several set of skills. These skills that you see here are overall, but of course, there are some roles that are more heavy in the request or requirement for some of these hot skills. However, let me describe a little bit of each of those skills that you require and what things that you'll be learning here in this program. So first, there's a lot of confusion between machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science. Well, machine learning is just the computer processing a bunch of data to find patterns. Right? That's machine learning. As a data scientist, normally we need to process a lot of data. We capture a lot of information. We start doing some sort of data analysis, exploration of the data, and at some point we need to use that data to find patterns that we don't do manually anymore. We use machine learning precisely to derive some patterns, and then we analyze the models, and then from there, the model can be deployed, and then you have AI. Okay? So machine learning is a hot topic. Now, within the machine learning realm, some data is very hard to process because it's a little more complicated, just a table, like images, like video, like audio, and that's where deep learning and natural processing computer vision come into play. Reinforcement learning is also on the rise, especially now with self-driving cars and automated machines. Reinforcement learning is a very interesting field where you set an agent in an environment and the agent starts exploring and starts figuring out what to do to maximize something that will give us a reward. And that reward can be so many things, like let's say in Amazon, and that's what they use, is they use reinforcement learning to make distribution of their products in their warehouses, where the machines learn the reward is the shortest time they can get something from point A to point B. And then they start learning and coordinating amongst themselves so that the distribution time can decrease, which is the reward. So this realm of reinforcement learning is getting more and more adoption in industry as well. Of course, big data technologies, we need to use big data. We need to understand distributed computing. Because we use data, we need a way to format the data in a way that is useful, which is what data engineering is for. Now, in the last three are a little bit less technical and more soft skills. One of them is ethical AI and bias mitigation, because that's actually something that's happening right now. There's concern about the lack of regulation and oversight related to artificial intelligence and its ethical use. Because artificial intelligence now is, and also so easy to implement in some situations, that some people they don't understand the consequences of the deployment of AI models, because AI models, they understand our unconscious biases and they can enhance them. And I'm not saying that organizations are malicious, they're trying to do it on purpose. It's just that it's an unintended consequence. We already know that, for example, there was an article about how Instagram can cause depression in teenage girls. Because the algorithm catches our biases, and we see that young teenage girls, they consume a lot of beauty-related content, which tends to depression. But again, it was the algorithm learned that. It's not that the organization is malicious; it's that the algorithm learns biases. So ethical AI and bias mitigation is important. One of the fastest rising skills for artificial intelligence. A/B testing, compare environments, and data visualization and storytelling is really important, because you will be talking data. So somehow you need to be creative and smart enough to translate very technical terminology in a story that is compelling. Okay, those are some of the skills that we'll be covering here, and some that we can provide some references. But data visualization and storytelling is a very, very important skill that will let you get buy-in and understanding on the discoveries you make. So this is some of the hot skills in data science for the coming year. Back to you, Rasha.
Those are some amazing skills in the data science explore. Also, now that we have talked about the skills, how can we miss talking about the data science career paths in 2024 as well?
Sure, absolutely. So first, let me explain a little bit the difference between all these roles, because I know that there's sometimes confusion. We see data scientist, machine learning engineer, AI research, data analyst, data engineer. So I don't know what the difference. First, if you notice, all of them are somehow related to data, right? Data scientist, machine learning, data analyst, AI researcher, big data engineer, BI, data engineer, statistician. All of them, they are data related. Okay. Which again, the reason is because of the amount of data we're producing. So now let me explain a little bit of the difference between these. As a data scientist, you are an actual scientist, and a scientist has observations, okay? Then out of those observations, starts making some inferences about causality. And then out of those inferences, then a model is produced, a series of hypotheses. Okay, these are my beliefs. This is what I think is driving these patterns. So we use machine learning precisely to find out that model that will be the hypothesis, our hypothesis on the behavior of the data. And at some point, we produce a model, we measure it, and then with that model, we explain what the model is for, how it works. We provide how we got there, and that's what we do as a data scientist. Okay, as a data scientist, in some cases, some organizations will ask you for your model. Say, hey, can you contrast my model, send it over to me, and we will deploy it. Then in some cases, we'll do that. The machine learning engineer, on the other hand, is more, it's more on the infrastructure side. There is an artificial intelligence pipeline from where you ingest data, process data, analyze data, produce a model, and then deploy the model and monitor the model, and so forth. The machine learning engineer typically sets those infrastructure components that will help the pipeline move along. So that's machine learning engineer. So it's a bit more I would say hardware infrastructure related than data scientist, and it's mainly about data. Machine learning engineers, they usually don't train models. They set up the infrastructure of a machine learning process. Okay? A data analyst is very similar to a statistician. A statistician and data analyst, what they do is, in the data science process, you start making some inferences and some conclusions from data. Well, that will be part of the role in conjunction with a data analyst or a statistician, because a statistician and a data analyst, they look at some parts of the data, but normally they don't elaborate a series of hypotheses. Those hypotheses are generated by data scientists. So it's common to work alongside with data analysts and statisticians. It also, to be honest, a data scientist is a statistician, okay? But not every statistician is a data scientist. Okay? Deep learning engineer, well, then we have AI research analyst, AI research scientists, and AI research scientists are, the forefront of AI technology. They are the ones that develop new algorithms, that develop models, and that will require that research intelligence part of humans, that heuristic side, to work with advanced fields of AI, do research, experimentation, innovation. Okay, that's an AI research scientist. So you create models and you figure out better ways to do AI. A big data engineer, well, it says it designs, builds, and manage all the systems, all the infrastructure required to process a lot of data. Okay? The BI analyst, they typically use the data analytics and BI tools to analyze data and provide some business insights or insights for the business. A data engineer, on the other hand, as I explained, they collect data and process data. A data architect, they actually design and create all the data management systems to manage the data for the life cycle from collecting the data, storing, processing, accessing data. A natural processing engineer specializes in building systems that can understand, make interpretation, and generate human language, which, by the way, is one of the fastest growing roles right now. Now, there are some emerging roles. Okay, these are some of the roles that right now are available. But look at the future. Okay, and by the way, these are trends that you can look at on Google and internet, and these are widely known trends. So there are roles like AI ethics officer that are individuals that are focused on considering the ethical applications of AI. Also, AI product managers. As a matter of fact, there's an AI product school that where they specifically do the merge between AI and product management, because there's been a role on the rise. And AI product manager, they oversee the development and deployment of AI products. And an AI product is a product that has those features that are customer facing or that are facing outwards, or sometimes inwards, that rely on artificial intelligence. Okay? Then also there's a quantum machine learning scientist. That sounds fancy, but that's also a reality. So in machine learning, we train models and we elaborate a series of hypotheses. Now, to get to those hypotheses takes a lot of compute because you try multiple options. Right? We can try a lot more options a lot faster, meaning we can create better models a lot faster with quantum computing. So that's something that is a role that will be emerging in the next maybe 2 or 3 years. And also an explainable AI specialist. Last year, there was an executive order from Biden where they were they were asking local governments to start discussing the oversee regulation of AI. So I sent a link. So you see that everything related to AI is actually happening at all different levels, in industry, government, NGOs. So AI-related roles will also be quite popular in the next upcoming years. Thank you, Raja. Back to you.
Awesome. While you were speaking, Manu, we have gotten plenty of questions, in the Q&A box. We'll be answering those questions whenever the speaker gets time. So please keep the questions coming in. And also about the chat, I see some interesting questions coming on the chat as well. please put it down in the Q&A box because we don't want to miss out any of your queries and answer as many queries as possible. So now that we've talked about the data science skills you need to basically learn in order to basically conquer the data science space in 2024, and also the career paths, which it opens up. Talking about the data science skills, which open up a high growth career path, and the salaries here, which are really important. Just to give you a few examples here, for a senior data analyst, the annual salary here, basically starting from a minimum of 7 lakhs to a maximum of 24 lakhs INR. And also for data scientist here, starting from minimum salary of 8 lakhs to a maximum of 25 lakhs. So this is a source we have gotten from Glasgow here. Now talking about what's exactly changing in the data science space for 2024. Amado, I think you have talked about it enough, how exactly it will be in demand and what are the things upcoming and how exactly the data science, sector will be in demand in 2024. But maybe you can take us through a few of these, things which will be very exciting in this new year.
Yes, absolutely, Russia. Okay, first to set a context and giving us a bath of reality. We always say every generation that this generation is the fastest growing generation, that we are moving so fast. But in all fairness, if we look back before before the year 2000 or maybe the year 2010, the amount of advancements that we've had as humans have been a lot faster in rate than the ones we had like thousands of years ago. Um, if you think about like 30 years ago, just having the idea that at almost no cost, you can have people having a conversation from all over the world, real time, look at them in video, like 30 years ago, right? So those things look like science fiction, like launching a satellite that is far beyond the moon, and that is giving us insights about the creation of the universe and the discovery of new particles. And there is so much discovery. How fast we've moved, that's been unprecedented. So all these things that are changing today in data science, they are not things that you should expect happen next 10 years. Those are things that are happening today and are happening way faster. If you start getting into data science, into artificial intelligence, reading the news about new discoveries, new models, you will see how impressively fast we are moving. If you start looking at conversations about the conversations that governments are having around the use of artificial intelligence and how some governments have implemented artificial intelligence for citizen support, you'll be impressed. Things like what AlphaFold is doing, like trying to discover new proteins and understand what proteins can do. I mean, again, we are moving way, way, way fast. So, however, these will be the segue to a lot more opportunities, like figuring out how to integrate more AI across multiple industries and tiers of industries, so that it's not only available for large organizations, but it's also available for the small company, business company, to the mom and pop shop. Also, in terms of the ethical use, again, there's an executive order, and that's just an example. In the European Union, in Japan, in multiple countries, they're starting to have discussions about how to start regulating AI and what would be the implications for the industry. So there are several challenges like bias models, there are privacy concerns, the ability for us to explain AI. And just imagine you go to the doctor and the doctor says, "You need surgery, sir." Say, "Well, why?" And the doctor says, "Because the AI told me." Okay. So wouldn't that you feel confident? I mean, some people would say yes, but some people would say, "Well, I would like to know how that AI came to the conclusion that I need surgery." So we need to be able to explain what AI is doing, and that poses a challenge for us as humans because we're reaching the limits. Well, not reaching the limits, but we're really pushing the limits of our intelligence like really, really hard. Everything that is automated machine learning, in addition to quantum computing, is okay because there's not enough people today to understand and process data, we're still leveraging more and more and more in technology to help us process it. So you have quantum computing, AutoML, like automatic ways to create pipelines for machine learning. And even more important is the ability to understand different domains. The more domains you can understand, and I'm not saying you will have to be experts, but if you can understand some domain, then through data, you can get a way deeper understanding and speak in the language of your domain experts so that you can come up with insights, conclusions, and products or data related products, or even just discussion about what's coming next. So this is what's been changing in data science, and this is what's going to be coming in the next years. Also consider Gen AI, generative AI, data ops, and more data science. Raja?
Thank you so much, Amado, for taking us through what's changing in the data science space here. So now that we've talked about the skills in data science, which you can take up through this program, and we'll be talking more about the program. But before that, we would love to know what is stopping you from becoming a data science expert here, and what is stopping you basically from pursuing a career in data science or basically transitioning to it. So I've launched a quick poll here. This is a multiple choice poll. And you can select multiple options here because there can be multiple challenges or reasons which is stopping you, right? I'll just read out these options for you. If they basically are the reason, you can vote for them. So the first one here is I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. Second one, I wouldn't get the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And the third one, I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And the last one, my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. So these are the four options you can choose from. If this is stopping you from becoming a data scientist here. If not, the Q&A box is open. You can put down your question there. If you have any questions about data science as a career, and also about the program which we'll be covering after this. Awesome. I think most of you have already responded for the poll here. You guys are pretty quick here. I see that. But I think let's give like 10 seconds more for the poll before we move ahead. Also, we have plenty of questions in the Q&A box here. And some really good questions, we'll be taking whenever the speaker gets time, or also towards the end of the session, in case we are not able to cover it right now. So please keep the questions coming in, and we will basically try to address your queries whenever the speaker gets time. So please do that. Thank you so much. I see that most of you have responded for the poll here. So last 5 seconds, folks, what's stopping you from becoming a data scientist? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me end the poll and also share the results with you folks and our speaker. So let's see. You have voted 48% for I wouldn't get the practical exposure I need to become job ready, and 46% for I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum, and 29% for my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning, and 18% for I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. That definitely gives us a little understanding of what is stopping you. And also from a lot of questions I've gotten from the Q&A box as well. We are actively trying to answer that whenever the speaker gets time. But meanwhile, let's introduce you to the Caltech postgraduate program in data science. We'll be taking questions about the program in general. And if you have any questions about the program, we'll be taking those questions also. Please go and put down any questions we have during this program's review. We will love to address as many quizzes as possible. So please don't worry. So about this program, you get access to a comprehensive curriculum with an industry-aligned learning path. And we have this program in collaboration with Silver Business Partner IBM. We'll be talking more about that. And also integrated labs and hands-on projects for practical experience, which you'll be getting through this program. We'll be talking more about that in detail. And also the online live virtual classroom with peer and instructor interaction. For this, we'll be taking you to the learning environment of the program, and Armando will be talking about what kind of interaction happens between the students and the instructor. Is it just pre-recorded videos, or actually it is a live interaction? So we'll be talking more about that. And also, I saw a lot of you have initial vote when we did of the experience. We saw a lot of you, most of you folks are experienced professionals. And the program duration for this one is 11 months. And if you are a working professional, this definitely makes it very flexible to fit your lifestyle and schedule. You can just complete it by giving 5 to 10 hours per week. So the Caltech postgraduate program in data science comes with the Caltech CTM advantage. So the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, is a 130-year-old institution, and Caltech is the home of an alma mater of Nobel laureates. And Caltech consistently ranks in the top 5 universities worldwide, and having a Caltech CDMA on your CV is a prestigious recognized worldwide. We'll be talking more about the program, and let's talk about the IBM advantage, which is a silver business partner with this Caltech program. Here, you get access to exclusive hackathons and Ask Me Any sessions by IBM, masterclasses by IBM, and industry recognized IBM certificates, which the list of courses in collaboration with IBM, which you'll be getting certificates for. I'll be showing you the certificates in some time, how it looks like, but certificates will be for R programming for data science and Python for data science. That is the IBM advantage for you. I see a lot of you have asked, like, I come from this field. Will I be eligible for this? Like a lot of questions are like that of, transitioning into this career and also maybe starting up in this career while you're, in maybe in your last year of your college pursuing some other degree. So let me tell you about the eligibility and the prerequisites for taking up this program. You need to have a basic understanding of concepts in programming and mathematics. Also, you need to have a bachelor's degree with 50% or higher marks, and 2 or more years of work experience is preferred, not compulsory, but it is preferred if you have some kind of experience here. And let's talk about how this program prepares you, talking about how this program builds your data science skills step by step. So we start with the introduction session, which will be talking more about that when is the next immediate cohort, when do the classes start in the enrollment steps. But right now, Armando, can you take us through the steps here, how this program builds the learners' data science skills step by step?
Okay, thank you very much, Raja. And this is pretty much in line and a good timing because of several questions that we're getting in the Q&A chat. Listen, I see that most of the questions are related to transitioning. Something like, I have a bachelor's degree, or I don't have a bachelor's degree, or I'm in sales and want to make a transition, or I'm a hardware engineer, want to make the transition, or how long does it take to make the transition, and where do I start? So let me give the context first of the types of questions we're getting, and then I'll get to how the program builds in data science. There are some recommended paths. Okay, so I'll be very honest. There's not a single one path to make the transition. Okay, I can tell you what are some of the safest transition paths, but again, there's not one single path to transition to your roles, to science, artificial intelligence. Some of you are self-learners that say, I just need a book. Go for it. So they read a book, they get to Google Cloud, some making their own experiments. Some people, they have a lot more time to start putting a program based on job profiles. I mean, there are an assortment of ways to make the transition. However, this program this program by Caltech has based on what is required in industry. We have been going through iterations to understand how learners can apply their knowledge faster. And there's a program that progresses and stacks upon the previous content. So you can stack your knowledge and build and grow, right? So we started with an induction section, and that induction section is just, okay, how the LMS works, and understand the system, and understand what the details and nuances about the navigation, about the program, and so forth. But then we do need some statistics and some math. Now we know that a lot of us before we got into data science the last time we were doing derivatives and looking at probability was maybe in high school or at college. And for most of us, at least for me, it's been like decades ago. It's been like a long time ago. So some people say, I don't remember anything about stats. I don't remember anything about mathematics. I don't remember what is a derivative. Well, in this second part of induction, we make a refresher on important concepts like measures of central tendency, what is a population, hypothesis testing, what are p-values, and then whether it's actually quite comprehensive, right? What's a chi-square test? Um, what's a V Kramer score? So we look into all that terminology in a way that it's more intuitive, things that you will actually need, and you will see it several times. It's not like you have to memorize everything. You just need to understand the intuition. So next time that you see that terminology in your models, your algorithms, you know what it's referring to. Okay, so that's that. Then data comes from a lot of different places, mainly databases, and we need to connect to those databases. So as a data scientist, you need to collect data, and we provide we'll provide some content and classes related to know how to perform SQL queries. And then we start putting a little bit of the programming portion here, because also we know and we are aware that some of you were mathematicians, statisticians, you were in sales, and you were never close to programming because your interest is not to become a web developer. It's not to become an application developer. You want to do artificial intelligence. You want to do data science. So we have a class or a course in which Python is crafted for the use on data science. So you just learn what you need, right, to perform good data science. You learn about libraries, and we start from scratch, from how to get Python installed, what is a variable, what is a for loop, how do you set up an if condition. So what are the different operators? So in programming, so we start from the very basic for people that are absolutely new in Python. Okay, the same way as we did with statistics, we start from the very basic. Of course, you need to know how to add, right, and multiply at least, right, or make a division. However, again, the more complex concepts will be covered from an intuition standpoint and with some applications. Then we combine everything. Then we do applied data science with Python. Now you know the stats. Now that you know the programming part, let's put them together and start doing some data science. We'll start working with projects to export data, to look at data in Jupyter notebooks, to create documentation, to then run our hypothesis testing, exploratory analysis, understanding a little bit about how to do data engineering, how to transform our data, so we can fit it to what's next, which is machine learning. Now, in this portion of machine learning, as a data scientist, now we have some inferences because we did our stats and programming. So we have some inferences, we have some visualizations, some nice charts, diagrams. But now we need to start training our models, meaning that we need to start providing that data to the computer so the computer learns patterns. And we need to choose the best possible algorithm. So because we know data science and stats, we say, okay, maybe these algorithms like a random forest, or maybe in this case will be a support vector machine, or in this case I'll do a deep neural network. We'll understand which machine algorithms to apply, and then we produce models. Which those models are deployed, and which is in conjunction with machine learning engineer. But here at this point, you understand machine learning. You also have a class in data visualization to make sure you are good at your storytelling. And finally, we'll wrap it up with some projects, like in industry-focused projects, like with real industry-related data that can also help you to start creating your portfolio. Okay? So this is how the overall program looks like, and there are also some electives and that you can take all the electives or just one. That's up to you. Rasha?
Yeah. So thank you so much for taking us through these steps, how this program builds the learner's data science skills. Also talking about the electives, the business with analytics with Excel, essentials of generative AI, prompt engineering, and ChatGPT, programming for data science, IBM, and data storytelling using Power BI, Caltech data science masterclasses, and also the IBM masterclasses, which I mentioned earlier. So these electives are a part of the program, but they're optional. It is up to you if you want to take it up. We don't charge anything extra for these electives here. Also, you get to master the in-demand tools, libraries, and platforms here. As you can see, there are so many platforms we cover here and tools here. Python, Pandas, Tableau, TensorFlow, NumPy, Matlab, Power BI, MySQL, SciFi, mind mapping, mind learning, and R. Also, moving on to the companies which will be hiring for data science, has been hiring for it. The top companies here being Amazon, TCS, Accenture, Infosys, Microsoft, IBM, Cognizant, EY, Wipro, and plenty of top international companies who will be basically hiring for data science, and will be much demand about it. Talking about the caption projects here. So what exactly is a caption project, which you get to cover through this program? More about that in detail. So the caption projects here is really important for someone who's done with the program and basically wants to build a portfolio of their own. I saw someone have asked, like, I have, like, a lot of companies ask for experience. So if you don't have any kind of experience to show, you can showcase these projects, the industry-based projects and the caption projects, which you get to work through this postgraduate program. And these caption projects basically provide true experience they can showcase in your portfolio. You get to choose one project out of several domains here and solve real-world business requirements with hands-on techniques here. And they basically provide a really good example for your work to your portfolio. We're talking about the learning environment here for the Caltech postgraduate program here. For that, Armando, you will have to share your screen. If you can quickly show us the learning environment of how exactly it looks like, when folks basically take up this program and donate to the program, and what exactly do they see once they have taken up this program. And also, initially, the kind of interaction which happens between the student and the instructor. Also, if you can, shed some light on that as well. So, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I'll stop sharing the screen
Absolutely.
so you can share your screen with us.
Okay.
Also, folks, we
Okay,
have.
so this is how the interface.
Yeah, so sorry. So sorry. Yeah, please continue.
Okay, thank you, Rasha. So this is how the interface looks like. Okay, so you get in your LMS site, in your LMS portal, and then you will have your bootcamp, right? The bootcamp information. When you get into into very intuitive. Um, when you have different sections. In the first section, in a very gamified way, so you can see actually the bar with your process of things you have to complete. You can see it over here. So the percentage of learning, how many courses you have in place, how much percentage you need to unlock your certificate. And below that, you have different tabs. One of the tabs includes some prerequisites, and you have some self-learning programming refreshers, math refreshers. Those are 100% optional. If you want to take a look at them, those are really, really, really good. The courses, you can see that we have, your induction program, statistics, programming, applied data science, machine learning, Tableau, and kinds of projects. Now, for every one of these classes, when you get, let's say, to applied data science with Python, you will find that all these courses look the same. Okay, so in Paint, where you have the video of the self-learning, on the left, you have access to your practice labs, because some of you don't want to install things in your computers, you don't want to mess up with with, with your work and say, well, something, I Python, don't work for that. There are to take your course. Okay, so then going back, you see that internet connectivity.
Yeah, I think we're just facing a little issue with the internet here. Folks, maybe just let's wait for like 2 minutes while Armando resolves his issue. Meanwhile, this is a really good time. If you have questions about the Caltech postgraduate program in data science, you can drop in your questions in the Q&A box, because we'll be moving towards the Q&A part of the session pretty soon here. So this is a really good time to utilize if you have any questions about the program in general or the data science career. So please do that. And also, Let's wait for Armando to resolve his issue with the network.
I think I lost you for a second. Can you hear me loud
Yes.
and clear?
No
Great.
worries, Armando. I think we lose you for a few minutes, but you can continue now. We will let you know if we have any issues with the network or the voice. Please continue.
Okay. Thank you. So what I was saying is that you have this very nice interface.
Okay, I think there is an issue with sound, Armando, from your end. Armando, we are not able to hear you. If you are able to hear me out. Folks, are you able to hear Armando? Please do let us know on the chat. Okay, please respond on the chat if you are not able to hear him. Am I audible to you, folks?
All right, I'm sorry. I think
Armando, we actually missed you for the last 2-3 minutes. Your voice was not audible at all. Weirdly, your video is visible and the screen is visible, but we were not able to hear your voice. We just lost you.
okay. Just to wrap it up, Roger. What I'm saying is that the benefit here is the outline is very, very nicely laid out. All the topics are very progressive. They're very clear. You can go back and forth, look for them. So the progress is very intuitive, which makes it very nice if you don't already have a path for data science. Raja, back to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Armando. Apologies, folks, for the disturbance here. We'll just quickly move on to the slide here. I'll just share back my screen. I hope my voice is completely audible here. Please do let me know. So we just covered the learning environment here. In case you missed what he was talking about, I'll just quickly, just tell you what all we covered. So we covered how you can manage your curriculum through the Caltech postgraduate program in data science. And we covered how the live virtual classroom works, what kind of interaction happens between the peer and the instructor, and also the test and assessments, you can unlock one by one through the screen which you were already viewing what the learning environment looks like, and how you can unlock it as you progress through these steps which we have talked about already, how this program builds your step, and also a capstone project overview which we have already talked about, and also once you're basically done with the program, how you can progress your tracking and unlock the certificates which I'll be showing you in the next upcoming slide, and also the support tools here. The support tools here are available 24/7. In case you face any issue with the learning environment, you can always reach out to us. So here with a global leader as program advisor. So Rick Hefner here, who's the Caltech CTMA Executive Director. He has over 40 years of experience in systems development and has served in academic, industrial, and research positions. So why the global leader as program advisor? So basically, they make sure that Simplilearn is delivering as per standards of Caltech, and you have that kind of experience when you take up the program. And also, let's me quickly take you through the learner outcomes here. Interestingly, the previous classes have consisted of learners from world-class organizations and diverse industries. Industries like IT, consulting, pharma and healthcare, manufacturing, BFSI, and many others. And amazing companies like Amazon, EY, Fidelity, Johnson & Johnson, Vodafone, Ericsson, Infosys, Nvidia, and many more, which we were able to put up only few of them here, but there are many other world-class organizations which they come from. And also, Simplilearn provides you with a career assess service as well, which helps you with your job search. So in case you have any questions, this is a really good time to go and put down your questions in the Q&A box because we'll be taking those questions pretty soon. Also, the career assess services provided by Simplilearn here for the Indian learners here, you get access to the job portal IM Jobs, where you get a wide employer network, a verified job search framework to provide you unique jobs, and also a resume review and rewrite service from Top Resume, where the writer collaborates with you one-on-one and basically helps you with the draft of resume within like 1 week of contact. And also there'll be rounds of revisions, and you will get continuous feedback there as well. And also, now that you're prepared with the resume, how can you miss the interview process, right? So we do help with that. We have partnered with Top Interview here, where you get one-on-one interview services, where you get to interview with the practitioner SME based on the skills you have in a resume, what you have put down in a resume, and for the applicable role you are trying to basically apply for. And you also receive continuous feedback here as well. So we would love to move on to the last segment of this program preview. At the end of it all, you will be getting the program completion certificate for the Caltech CDME postgraduate program in data science, which you can see on your screen. This will be by California Institute of Technology, which is the first certificate which is visible to you on the top, and also an industry recognized certificates by IBM for its courses. One you can see, we have talked about two certificates. The one which you will, which is visible on the screen here, that is how it will look like. This will be from IBM. Also, this will be for Python for data science, and also another one is for R programming. And this is how the IBM certificate will look like. Also, the master classes are delivered by distinguished Caltech CDMA instructors. You can earn up to 14 CEUs to showcase your achievements. Now, 14 CEUs is pretty interesting because you get 140 hours of learning credits, and also industry recognized IBM certificates, which I've already mentioned, and also Ask Me Anything sessions by and hackathons as well. So we would love to know, would you like to enroll into the Caltech postgraduate program in data science? I'm quickly launching a poll here, and you can share your interest by sharing yes as a response. And I'll be taking you through the enrollment steps of the program and the program structure and the program fee when is the next immediate upcoming cohort for the program. And also, we have plenty of questions in the Q&A box, which our speaker Armando is trying to answer actively as possible. We have gotten a high volume here of for folks who have joined us. So we're trying to address as many quizzes as possible. And please don't worry, we'll try to sum it up and address as many quizzes as possible towards the end of the session. So maybe, Armando, we can take few questions right now as well. If you see a lot of repetitive questions, maybe you can answer it all together as well, because I see a lot of questions of career transition here.
Yes, as a matter of fact, those most of the questions we get, like about how to transition, where do I get started, or how do I to learn, what is it that it require the most? Does it make sense to a specific role? Um, so first, I'm going to say, is coding really necessary? Okay, so there are tons of different roles, like a lot of different roles, and is it possible to make a transition? It's always possible. I'm not saying it's easy. Okay, so I want to be very clear. I'm not saying it's easy. If you have the commitment, meaning that you put the time and the effort, you can make the transition. It is possible. I've seen that happening hundreds of times. Like people actually making the transition from their roles into data science, from people making changes in studies or so. But the difference between the ones that make it and the ones that don't make it is the ones that make it, they put an effort. They make time, they have a good portfolio, they start they're working, they start reading news about AI, data science, trying to incorporate new models, they start working their portfolios and projects, and they are the ones who actually make the transition. Okay, the ones who practice. Um, this course will give you like all the foundations that you need to kickstart your career as data scientist. But if you don't put the effort in your networking or in setting up your portfolio or in continue learning or in doing more projects, then it's like taking like any other course, right? So it is possible to make a transition. Where do you start? You start by learning things like what is data science, to start learning things about a little bit of Python programming, stats. And look, it's a very, very, very enriching and fulfilling job. Just look out there. If it's not with us, start even looking out there for different resources. There's tons of resources. Now, we provide a structure, but I mean, there are tons of resources out there. Just taking a dive, look at testimonials, look at how people have done their transitions. Go to LinkedIn and look for job descriptions. Get excited about these. This is not only to learn, but it's also to have fun. So hopefully I'll see you around soon. And happy coding, everyone, and happy learning. Raja, back to you.
Thank you so much, Armando, for answering all the repetitive questions we have about career transition. Last 5 seconds, folks. Would you like to enroll into the Caltech postgraduate program in data science? You can share your responses yes for the poll which you see. Would you like to enroll into the program? And I'll be taking you quickly through the enrollment steps of the program and also talking about the program fee as well. Folks who have joined us live on our YouTube channel, apologies. Um, Folks who have joined us live on our YouTube channel, I see a lot of you replying yes, interested. For you folks, you can just click on the description of this particular live YouTube video, and you will on the top you will see the Caltech postgraduate program in data science link to enroll. You can just click on that link and basically share your interest towards enrollment by providing few details for us. So I see a lot of yeses there. Please make sure to go to the description of the YouTube video and click on the top line. You will see the top line link of the program there. It will say that it is the link for the Caltech postgraduate program in data science. Also, I see from the poll response here, I see a lot of interest coming towards enrollment. So that's great. I think I'll just quickly end this poll now and move toward the enrollment steps for the folks who have shared interest in enrollment. So let me quickly end the poll and move on towards the enrollment steps here. We have exceeded a bit of time for this webinar. Armando, if you're okay, we will take less than 5 minutes or so, just to complete the program, if you're okay with it.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Okay. So the enrollment steps of the program, for a lot of you folks who have shared interest towards enrollment into the Caltech postgraduate program in data science, these are the three simple, easy steps. Learning consultants from Simplilearn will be reaching out to you and taking you through these three simple, easy steps. So I'm just telling you that in advance, so you basically are familiar with the steps. You need to submit an application. You will have to apply at askus@simplilearn.net, and based on that, your application will be going for review. That is the step 2. Caltech CTMA will be reviewing your qualifications based on the eligibility and the prerequisites I've shared with you earlier. And based on that, you'll be getting the admissions offer from learning consultants from Simply will be contacting you for that. So moving on to the enrollment and the program schedule here. So the program fee here for US candidates here is $4,500 here, including GST. And for Indian candidates here, it is 2 lakh 10,000, including GST INR rupees. I saw a lot of you have asked, like, is it possible for me to basically pay in monthly installments? Or is it possible there are any financing options available? So yes, we do have that. You don't have to worry about that. I know I'm sharing this only about the US and Indian candidates for folks, because I saw a lot of you have joined from different countries as well. I share the program link here. You can check it out for your own region as well. Just allow me some time for that. So for US candidates, we have EMI options available for as low as $396 per month. And for Indian candidates, we have EMI options available for 7,146 INR per month. And the classes for the next immediate cohort, because a lot of you have asked, like, I want to join the next one, immediate one, when is exactly starting? So the classes for the next immediate cohort will be starting on 6th April. And the induction session will be starting on 28th Feb. So you can basically join the induction session very soon. And also, just to let you know that we have very limited seats per cohort, and the next immediate cohort is on 6th April. So we only take few folks, set of folks per cohort, in order to make sure we're giving all the attention that is required when you're taking up this program. And also, even after this webinar, in case you have any questions, if you want to know more about the program, which anyways, if you've already shared your interest towards enrollment into the program, learning consultants from Simply will be reaching out to you and taking you through a much more detailed walkthrough of the Caltech postgraduate program in data science. But you can always reach out to us with your queries at askus@simplelearn.net. Let me just quickly share this email ID with you on the chat here. Let me just quickly do that, so you can just keep a note of it in case you have any questions. It is askus@simplelearn.net. I'll just share that with you. And moving on to the questions and answer part. So I think we have actively tried answering your queries throughout the session, but the Q&A box was completely blowing up. So I think we can take a few questions for the next 2 to 3, 5 minutes. Armando, let me just quickly browse through the questions which we have. Okay, I think we have one question here. I'm not able to make out the name here from the email ID, but how can someone new to the field who is still learning find a mentor? Because I find it difficult to learn from just videos without someone to monitor my trend. So I think, first of all, how this program also has like a mentor and student interaction. Maybe you can talk about that and also answer the question here as well, Amanda.
Sure, absolutely. So, well, first and foremost, approach people. You know, there are people, there's individuals that are happy to provide mentorship to others that are learning, right? That are new. Also, sometimes it's hard for us to learn alone. So you will have a group of people, especially in live classes, that you can interact with, and there's a Slack channel. So we have a Slack channel where you can touch base with others, discuss things about your projects, touch base with your professor, touch base with other trainers. So that, I mean, that would be one way. The other one is, I mean, that's of course you're enrolled to this program. But if you don't, then go to different channels, whether through Slack or different forums, different blogs. Go to LinkedIn and look for people's profiles that you would think would be beneficial, that you admire, and just reach out to them. So that would be my recommendation. If you have a study buddy, then that also helps. If you have someone, a friend that is interested in data science, work together, do some exercises together, work on some projects together. So I would say that's the best way to learn and then get mentorship.
Thank you so much for answering that. Please do let us know if that answers your question or if you have any follow-up questions here. Uh, okay, let's see. We have plenty of questions. I think we have answered a lot of them already. Uh, okay, just to mention, I think a lot of you have first asked like, so you are a working professional, so can you ask your employer for tuition reimbursement? Yes, we can do that. So you can basically ask your employer for tuition reimbursement if you're looking for reimbursement from your company. So you can do that. I think we've gotten a few questions about that. And let's see. Okay, I think we have answered plenty of them already. So I don't see any new question here apart from the ones we have already answered. And we are also exceeded the time of the session, folks. So sorry, we will have to move towards the end of the session here. So thank you so much, folks, for being an amazing audience. And from the interest we saw towards enrollment in the Caltech postgraduate program in data science, I think we'll be seeing a lot of you in the upcoming cohorts of this program. So wish you all the best for that. And I've already shared the email ID with you in case you have any questions even after the webinar. Please do let us know. Please go and drop a query you might have about the program in general, or if you would like to explore other programs as well with Simplilearn. Armando, it's always a pleasure hosting you, and you taking us through this program review and giving us a detailed walkthrough of the program. Thank you so much for that. Would you like to say something to the folks here before we end the session?
No, just go for it. It's really fun. It's really fun. I hope you enjoy it as much as I and thousands of people have enjoyed it. So thank you very much for having us. Thank you very much, Rasha.
Thank you so much, Armando. Thank you, everyone. Just to remind you, I think you have a lot of questions about the webinar certificate. That is different from the program certificate. Just to be clear once again, the post-webinar survey, it will pop up now once I end the session. Folks who have joined us live on Zoom, not on YouTube, just to be clear. And you can just put down your full name for the webinar certificate for attending the webinar. Please make sure to do that. So if you don't have that data of your full name, we cannot provide you the certificate without that. So please do that. And also, in case you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at askus@me.net. We have exceeded the time a bit of the session, so we will have to end it now. But see you in another session. I'm sharing the link towards, a lot of these webinars which happen every week. So if you're exploring, still you can basically attend a lot of these webinars of different categories of careers and basically get to know more about what would you like to pursue. So please go check out this resources section in Simplilearn, and also let me just put down the resources. I've put down the program link once again. So sorry, I'll just put down the webinar section. Basically, you can subscribe for all the webinars throughout the month. So please do that. Thank you so much, folks. We'll be ending the session now, and the post-webinar survey will pop up from Zoom where you can enter your full name and also feedback for us, how we can make these webinars better for you to have a very evaluating experience here. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you.